Hello everybody, I'm going to do a quick review on these sawhorses I picked up from Harbor Freight. This is item number 61700. These retail for $39.99. They were on sale for $32.99. A 25% off coupon was applied, so these were picked up for $24.74 plus tax out the door. These are supposed to be rated up to 1,000 pounds. I'm not sure if that's individually or for the pair. Who knows? But what I can say is they're extremely stout for what they are. There's one thing I'm going to be changing on it, and I'll get to that momentarily. I'll give you a brief description on how they were put together. They get pretty good reviews, other than a lot of people saying holes weren't lining up and things of that nature. I did not have a problem with these. I had exactly the right amount of fasteners to put them together. It probably took about 20 minutes to do the first one and about 10 minutes to do the second one after figuring everything out. What I don't like about it, I'll just go off into it. The actual board you see there that's two pieces of glued together MDF. So let's call that 1.5 inches, and they're probably 5.5 inches wide. That's just two pieces of MDF with some type of a laminate surface on top of it that looks like a wood grain. So if you purchase something like this, don't leave these outside, or these things are going to be 6 inches tall after they get wet. But I like wooden topped horses like this, because if I break down sheet goods or whatever, I send my saw right through the horse and everything stays put. In lieu of maybe the plastic ones that you can get that fold up. I don't really like those, but then again, I've never used them. And you might consider something like that and then put a piece of 2x screwed to it on the top for a sacrifice. So these will be getting a 2x6 new top put on at some point in the near future. The reason they're like this is I picked them up to go do a specific task at one of my properties, and I didn't want to take my horses with me. I've got some really heavy duty steel horses. I think they're used for masonry work or something like that. It's dark outside, but I'll go out there with a flashlight and show you that as well. But all in all, these things seem pretty cool, and they seem pretty rigid once you get them put together. So I'll move in a little bit closer. Here's just a quick shot of the top of this. Anybody who's ever worked with MDF, you know that this stuff is just prone to damage. You have to be very careful with it, and using it for something like a sawhorse is not real good in my opinion. Plus it makes them weigh a lot more. They're going to get lighter when I put a 2x6 on here. Quick rundown on the assembly process. The first thing they said to do in the book, and I don't even think it was required, they said to come out here, I think it was 3 3/8 inches, and scribe a line. And they were pre-drilled with holes. So then use the wood screws that are supplied and screw these brackets down, one on each side. Then you start putting in your legs here, and there is a definite down to them. There's a pattern of 4 bolt holes. Those will go towards the bottom. Bolt those on with the supplied bolts, tighten them up, and that's a done deal. Then after you get all those tightened up, you would install this piece here. This is a C channel, so these will go out and the flat side would go down to it. 4 bolts on each one, 4 nuts on each one, tighten them up. Now this is a point here where I think people are having problems with things not lining up. Because these things can kind of move around and tweak, you have to kind of get your bolts in here, move to the other side, pull things around, and then once you get everything in, tighten up all your fasteners. So I didn't have any issue with that. Once I got everything pulled to where it was supposed to go, no problem. Alright, here's a quick shot of the side braces. There's one on each end. To my surprise, there should have been 4 of these in a box. I actually had 5 in my box. I never got extra parts with anything. But somebody wasn't counting properly that day or got distracted, so I got an extra bar. Anyway, you can loosen this up with this thumb wheel, hand wheel, and of course there's the slot. This side over here has just got a bolt, a washer, another washer, and I believe a nylock. This side right here, there's a bolt that goes through, and then a lock washer and a nut. You secure that first to lock that stud in place, then you can install this. So you kind of have to pull these out of the way to get them up like this. It's not a big deal. So spread your legs out, put them on, tighten them up, and that's that. Here's a quick shot of the plastic feet that are put on it. These, in my opinion, are going to be the weak link in the whole system. Over time, I can imagine these are just going to crack to pieces and then fall apart. When that happens, not if, I will address it at that point in time. So aside from these being potentially weak and then replacing the top, I have no complaints with them. They're certainly solid. It's sitting flat on my floor right now. Now there's no adjustable leg or anything on it like a lot of horses, so you may have to prop it up if you're on an uneven surface with a pad of scrap material or something like that, but we all have to do that anyway. And here's a quick shot of it collapsed, just to give you kind of an idea on the footprint that it leaves when they are closed. They don't take up too much space. The way I've been transporting them is I stack the other one right next to it. They are up against the wall in my enclosed trailer, and then they are strapped to the wall. They ride just fine, no issues with it. Alright, well, I'm outside now. I just wanted to show you those horses I was talking about. These are the legs. They're all steel construction, and there are bars that come around with spikes on them that go into your 2x material. They're very heavy, very rigid, and they are adjustable for height as well. I actually have these are 8 foot long right now, but I can put any length of anything I want in there. I like the length on these because if I do painting or something like that with a bunch of material, I just lay them all out and I can make that as long as I want. But they're not conducive to move around from place to place unless you break them down, which is why I purchased the other ones. Well, alright guys, all in all, you can see why I purchased these over the ones that I had just shown in the other clip. These are just a lot easier to move around and do small tasks with, especially if I'm not working here, if I'm one at my other properties. So that's why I purchased these. There are many different options you can get to do the exact very same thing. Build your own, whatever. But I did want to note that what I showed here is the price and everything. It was for a set of 2. I just brought one in to show it. I didn't feel like dragging the other one in. So it does come with 2, FYI. So if you guys are looking for something, you might check these out. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and good luck.